evening and welcome to the Gvd Week in Review, a week wrap of the major happenings making headlines this past week. My name is Shannon LeBon. Thanks so much for joining us. This week started off with further threats to public safety. On Sunday night, the town of Vieux registered its first homicide for the new year and St. Lucia's 8th for the month of January. Residents of the Sovereign town reported hearing a barrage of intermittent automatic gunfire beginning from about 9:17 in the evening. The heavy gunfire lasted over a period of about 45 minutes. When the smoke cleared, the sad story of another young life lost to gun violence emerged. Deceased 17-year-old Charles Victor from Monrepo, Miku, he was discovered lying motionless on a concrete path with multiple wounds to his torso. A woman in her 50s was also injured in the incident and she was taken to a medical facility for treatment. She is in stable condition. Vieux police quickly cordoned off parts of New Dock Road, which separates the communities of Bruceville and Damang, launching the latest homicide investigation. Last year, the Sovereign town made headlines as the scene for a bloody gang feud which claimed the lives of over a dozen citizens. Police appealing to anyone with information to contact the Criminal Investigations Department, CID, or the crime hotline at 555. But moments after, police investigators were called into action again following a shooting incident in Tiroche, Miku. The incident left one man nursing injuries.
On Sunday night, heavy gunfire shattered the usual quiet in the once peaceful community of Tiroche, Miku. A young man was pursued and shot multiple times by assailants. According to our sources, he remains in critical condition at hospital. This shooting incident happened 1 hour after a fatal shooting in Vieux which claimed the life of a man and left a woman nursing injuries. Now, residents are worried that the gun violence which claimed the lives of so many last year is back in their backyards. Sunday's night shooting at Tiroche has sparked fear of reprisal killings and is believed to be linked to gun warfare. The victim is relative to a one-time notorious strongman who was murdered in Vieux last year. The concerned residents has called on the nation's youth to put down their guns and engage in more positive and beneficial activities.
Pour aller travailler, yo avle travailler, yo toffian. Yo pièce jeune moun pa pe travailler à présent, c'est yon habitant, des habitants travail yo vle faire.
Since the start of the year, St. Lucia has recorded 8 homicides, the majority of which were committed with guns and involved young men. Residents in the south are calling on the authorities to do something before the situation spirals out of control. From the Gvd News Desk, I am Michaela Charles Noel reporting.
During the week in review, the National Youth Council NYC expressed concern over the alarming rate of violence involving young people on the island. Victims of homicides recorded since the start of this year are all below the age of 30. With the exception of the Frenchman killed in Bonte, Grizzly. In a statement issued on Thursday, NYC President Yanika Jabart William called for a multi-sectoral approach to address the current crime scourge.
Economy heavily reliant on tourism, the recent increase in violence continues to be a major concern. In the face of mounting violence, the St. Lucia National Youth Council is reaffirming its commitment to a zero-tolerance policy towards crime. NYC President Yanika Jabart William says the current security challenges require a unified response.
The trend of increasing involvement of youth in gangs, which has extended its reach into our schools and communities, is of great concern, and we are calling on all stakeholders in our society to play their part in addressing this issue. Many youth feel marginalized and overlooked, with limited opportunities and support systems. Economic hardship and the high cost of living further exacerbates their struggles, pushing some towards illegal activities to survive. The breakdown of family structures, often lacking male role models and support, contributes to the vulnerability of our youth. We call on all stakeholders to prioritize efforts to strengthen family units and provide the necessary support and guidance to our young people.
The NYC president, who is also a teacher, said the solution to the crime problem is urgently needed. The organization also made an appeal to the government and the media as St. Lucia searches for answers.
As an organization constitutionally appointed to represent the young people of St. Lucia, we appeal to the government in particular to continue to engage all stakeholders to develop and implement urgent strategic measures to reverse the current situation. We also urge the media to exercise responsibility for the content that they broadcast. The influence of media on shaping attitudes and behaviors cannot be underestimated. We also call on the churches and all other institutions and organizations to step forward and combine their efforts to fight this monster that has taken root in our society.
Ms. Regina Bat William also impressed on the perpetrators of crime to do better.
Every life matters. The consequences of your actions extend far beyond the immediate victim, impacting families and communities and tarnishing the image of our nation. We implore you to consider the consequences of your actions and seek constructive ways to address conflict and grievances.
The St. Lucia National Youth Council president says the organization stands ready to collaborate with all stakeholders in creating a brighter future for St. Lucia. From the Gvd News Desk, I am Tammy Frederick reporting.
You're watching the Gvd Nightly News Week in Review. On Monday, January 29th at about 12:55 a.m., the Grosley Police Station received a report of a fatal vehicular collision which occurred at Monji Road, Grosley, along the Sir Julian R. Hunt Highway. The officers arrived at the scene and found a black motor vehicle that had veered off the main road. The driver, male, was the sole occupant of the vehicle. Emergency medical technicians from the fire service responded, provided medical aid, and conveyed the driver to the Owen King EU Hospital for further attention. The driver, however, succumbed to his injuries, and the medical practitioner confirmed his death. The victim, identified as 25-year-old Jordan Centage of Bagatelle, Castries. The month of February started off with a road fatality, the third since the start of the year. The latest victim, a 23-year-old man from Leslie Land in Castries. He died after the vehicle in which he was traveling overturned on the East Coast. Now, the police have provided an update on a recent investigation. On Wednesday, January 31st, a 26-year-old Uriah Flemius of Mondador Castries was charged for causing the death of Scott Chester Louison. That incident occurred on, the charge was handed down on Thursday, February the 1st. He was escorted to the First District Court in the city, where he was presented before the court for bail conditions. He was remanded to the Bodley Correctional Facility pending further case management. The Major Crimes Unit says it commenced investigations into the fatal stabbing of the 27-year-old Scott Chester Louison at Mondador Castries on Sunday, the 9th of July. Previously charged for murder is 18-year-old Omarion Kyan R.J. Thomas of Mondador Castries. He was charged for the offense of murder on Wednesday, July the 12th. Meanwhile, the police are also reporting that they have made a breakthrough in the homicide in another homicide investigation. We'll have the details later. The CEO of St. Jude's Hospital and the project manager for the ongoing reconstruction exercise provided an update this week on the project. Caribbean consulting engineers have been engaged by the government to execute designs and project modifications.
The St. Jude Hospital project is designed to accommodate 80 census beds and 60 non-census beds, a total of 96 beds. Census beds are designated for patients admitted to hospital, and the non-census beds are used in the emergency room for 24-hour observation or recovery from surgery. CEO of St. Jude's Hospital, Lydia Atkins, says hospital staff continue to offer the best possible care despite current challenges.
Currently at the George Odlum Stadium, we have a facility with 50 census beds and now 26 non-census beds. Prior to COVID-19, we would have had 10 census beds, and having had a need to increase it by an additional 16 to respond to increased admissions that we were seeing, and that our census beds of 50 did not allow for us to have adequate capacity for admissions. After COVID-19, we've inherited a population that is increasingly ill, increasingly morbid, and as a result, you have higher admissions at the facility.
The increasing bed capacity will allow St. Jude Hospital to be more responsive to the needs of the people in the South. The CEO says the new facility will also include 2 new operating rooms that will be significantly larger than the one at the George Odlum Stadium.
Important as well is that with the completion of the new St. Jude and the new physiotherapy space, St. Jude Hospital would then become the first facility and only facility on island that is able to provide hydrotherapy.
The project manager of Caribbean Consulting Engineers, Barry Jonas, who oversees performing the design review and modification, has provided an update on the status of the project. He revealed that engineers have reviewed the layout of the existing buildings on site that was done by the previous consultants.
A major aspect of the works are the procurement of the various items for the works: electrical cabinets, pipes, plumbing fixtures, electrical switchboard, air conditioning, HVAC system, medical gas line systems. So all of these are in procurement processes to allow the facility, and the majority of the installation and outfitting work still has to be completed. And with that, we are aiming to finish the buildings as soon as the Prime Minister is requesting.
Caribbean Consulting Engineers previously worked on the OKU Hospital. The company says it is committed to work with all stakeholders to finally deliver St. Jude's. From the Gvd News Desk, I am Tammy Frederick reporting.
St. Lucia recorded 3 COVID-19 deaths and an increase in COVID-19 cases in the last 14 days. The latest update was provided by the Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Sharon Belma-George. She spoke on Monday in an address to the nation. Citizens are encouraged to take the necessary precautions to protect themselves and to stop the spread.
COVID-19 is again on the rise in St. Lucia. As the country continues to run through the flu season from October to March, the Ministry of Health, Wellness and Elderly Affairs is observing a significant increase in persons appearing with flu-like symptoms throughout the emergency departments, wellness centers and doctors' private offices. Between January 15th to 25th, St. Lucia recorded 3 COVID-19 deaths. According to the Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Sharon Belma-George, steps have been put into place to manage the virus in case there continues to be a rise in cases.
The hospitals are on alert to ensure supplies, equipment, and medication is available. PCR and rapid testing are available free of charge to the public at the wellness centers and community hospitals and polyclinic. The regional public health agencies are working to source and supply the region with the necessary vaccines.
The Ministry of Health urges the public to make use of the flu vaccine, currently free of charge and available at various wellness centers. Face masks will also be made available for patients and members of the public visiting the public health facilities.
The public is encouraged to reduce the impact of respiratory illnesses by the following measures. Maintain a healthy lifestyle through diet, regular exercise, adequate sleep, reduced stress and toxic habits. Ensure compliance by taking prescribed medication if you suffer from any chronic health conditions. Strengthen sanitary measures at home and work and maintain proper hand hygiene with regular hand washing, and wear face masks when presenting flu-like symptoms. Consult a healthcare professional if flu-like symptoms linger or worsen.
The Ministry of Health will continue to share updates to the public and will step up health education efforts. Persons prone to be affected by COVID-19 include the elderly, persons with chronic health conditions, and the unvaccinated. From the Gvd News Desk, I am Makiba Eiffel reporting.
In a statement to mark World Leprosy Day on Sunday, January 27th, the community dermatologist in the Ministry of Health underscored the need for early detection and treatment since the start of 2024. St. Lucia has recorded new cases of leprosy, adding to the number of citizens living with the disease on island.
Leprosy continues to affect many St. Lucians. In 2023, the Ministry of Health, Wellness and Elderly Affairs registered 11 new cases, and since the start of this year, new cases have been detected in St. Lucia. Leprosy may be transmitted mainly through droplets from the nose and mouth during prolonged close contact with untreated leprosy cases. It has a long incubation period, on average at least 5 years. That means someone could be infected with leprosy but not show any signs or symptoms for up to 5 years.
Leprosy is a chronic disease which affects the skin, nose, and eyes. It is caused by a bacterium called Mycobacterium leprae. Leprosy is curable using a combination of drugs which are available free of charge within the public system.
According to the community dermatologist, the Ministry of Health intends to introduce treatment this year for individuals who had close contact with someone with leprosy. This medication will help in reducing chances of getting leprosy. The Ministry of Health official urges all to take leprosy seriously.
If you see a light-colored spot with decreased sensation or feeling, or are getting recurrent, non-healing burns or ulcers to the hands and feet, please visit your nearest healthcare facility.
If left untreated, leprosy can cause deformities such as loss of fingers and toes due to loss of sensation to the hands and feet. It could also cause blindness. Early detection and access to proper treatment can prevent disability. The public is encouraged to promote the dignity of persons affected by the disease. From the Gvd News Desk, I am Tammy Frederick reporting.
Thank you, Tammy. You are watching the Gvd TV Week in Review, a recap of some of the major headlines this past week. Back in a moment.
Coming soon, the same excellent Lucelec service in a new location at Daisy Avenue in Sanssouci, Castries. Thanks for your patience.
Why pay full price for your mobile when you can pay half? Just bundle your home internet and mobile services with Flow and save 50% on your mobile bill. That's money in your pockets every month. Plus now you get free YouTube and WhatsApp data. And you can share your plan with up to 3 other numbers. Upgrade now and get a free smartphone. Switch and keep your number. Learn more at discoverflow.co.
So, this is goodbye. A professional one. A meticulous one. One with unique options. And total support. With multiple locations, we are focused on your hour of need. And so, this is the final goodbye. Be it traditional, at sea, or cremation, the Crick family will be here to help your family during life's most difficult moments. Crick's Funeral Home, telephone 452-2780 and 459-92 812.
Welcome back. During the past week, St. Lucia police charged a 28-year-old man for the murder of Gillian Talian, alias GT, who died after being shot on Sunday, January 21st near his home at Balata. The Royal St. Lucia Police Force commenced investigation into the fatal shooting, and on Wednesday, January 24th, officers attached to the Major Crimes Unit arrested Jamal Ricky Williams of Plateau Babano. And on Friday, January 26, Williams was charged for the murder of Gillian Talian. He was taken to the First District Court in the city for bail hearing, but was subsequently remanded at the Bodley Correctional Facility until his next court appearance. At the time of his death, Gillian Talian was 29 years and was killed a mere 6 days before his birthday. Calls were renewed for the government to fix the deplorable conditions of roads around St. Lucia. Drivers, passengers and pedestrians alike continue to complain and express dissatisfaction over the poor state of many roads which are filled with potholes. Meanwhile, the main opposition United Workers' Party held a press conference during this week. The government was taken to task over frequent shortages of sugar and other basic commodities. UWP Deputy Political Leader and former Economic Affairs Minister Guy Joseph says the shortages reflects a bigger problem of poor management. He spoke during the party's press briefing, which happened on Tuesday.
Sugar is back on the discussion table. In recent times, consumers here have been forced to find alternatives or do without because of supply shortages. State officials have announced recent shortages are due to external factors including weather patterns and low production levels. But a former Economic Affairs Minister alleges the problem stems from proper management and the government's cash flow. Guy Joseph says the recent shortages of sugar is evidence the current administration is not managing the affairs of the country well.
You have a government that cannot manage the importation of sugar in a country. How many times have we had shortages of sugar? And tell me which other island in the Caribbean or in the OECS have had a shortage of sugar. My information is they can only afford to buy 2 containers of sugar at a time.
Guy Joseph argues that the government is finding money for entertainment ventures and not what matters most to the people.
Some of the canned drinks are so expensive, parents cannot buy it for their children anymore. But they can't even get sugar to squeeze a couple oranges and limes to make a bottle of juice to give their children to go to school. You think the government really cares about that?
The Ministry of Consumer Affairs has promised consumers that it has put measures in place to prevent further shortages of sugar and other commodities. But the former government minister encourages citizens to wait and see. From the Gvd News Desk, I am Makiba Eiffel reporting.
St. Lucia's Deputy Prime Minister and Minister responsible for tourism, Dr. Ernest Hilaire, announced big plans for the tourism sector, which remains St. Lucia's leading economic earner.
Are underway for the tourism industry. According to Tourism Minister Dr. Ernest Hilaire, some of the developments set to come on stream are the Redway Beach development, Sabusha and Chozel, and Black Bay development. He says other tourism-related developments will also be implemented over the next few months. The minister further stated that the recent growth in tourist arrival numbers for both cruises and stayovers supports the need to increase current room stock.
There's a huge demand for rooms in St. Lucia. So as we prepare to get more room stock, we will go through a challenging period. But we expect in the next 2 to 3 years to add over about 1,000 new rooms in St. Lucia, which is a desirable state that we want to achieve.
According to Hilaire, St. Lucia cruise tourism sector will also see significant upgrades in the next coming years.
In the next sitting of Parliament, we will be tabling the Tourism Development Bill, which is aimed at transforming the tourism industry, offering more support for St. Lucians getting involved in the tourism industry, and the incentives regime to be expanded beyond just accommodation, but to all sectors of the tourism industry is a major piece of legislation. So certainly looking forward to presenting it in the House.
Hilaire, who is also Deputy Prime Minister, also called St. Lucians to get involved and participate in the tourism industry. He says government hopes to achieve two main goals of getting visitors to spend more money in St. Lucia and more St. Lucians to own a piece of the tourism industry. From the Gvd News Desk, I am Tammy Frederick reporting.
The Review News broke that the island has launched the long-awaited semi-professional football league, which is the vision and legacy of President Lyndon Cooper and his executive. Local-based footballers will soon be paid to play. This has been the dream of generations of St. Lucia's best players. The St. Lucia Football Association had been working to establish a league for many years, but faced financing hurdles given FIFA's strict policies. Agricultural officials appealed to citizens to join the fight against predial larceny, which is defined as the theft of agricultural produce. Produce is stolen from farms across the island, including coconuts and provisions, and often retailed to unsuspecting buyers who are indirectly supporting a serious crime. Efforts are now afoot to beef up the capacity of the predial larceny unit to confront the problem.
Predial larceny continues to be a major concern for farmers in St. Lucia. Agriculture Minister Honorable Alfred Prosper spoke on this growing issue at a briefing room on January 29, 2024. According to him, the Ministry of Agriculture is working with stakeholders to convict perpetrators and dissuade potential buyers.
Fortunate that you go by the market and you buy a plantain or a hand of banana, but when you go and cook it, it has needles and pins inside. This is not what we expect from our persons, but as I tell you, the agricultural sector, you can invest your time and resources, but you may never be able to reap the benefits at the end of the day because of predial larceny.
The Agriculture Minister says the capacity of the predial larceny unit in the Ministry of Agriculture is limited, given that predial larceny is reported across thousands of acres of farms in this country. He is proposing the establishment of community farming groups to assist in tackling larceny.
It's very unfortunate for us, but sometimes we don't understand the pressures that our farmers go through when they invest their time and money into production, but when they are ready for harvest, somebody else would have collected it, and that is why predial larceny is a major factor in the agricultural sector that we need to address.
Prosper says it is very unfortunate that farmers invest so much in their produce and are robbed of their benefits. From the Gvd News.
In more news this week, health authorities announced plans for this year's hosting of World Cancer Day, which will take place on February the 4th. Health officials are reflecting on the impact of cancer on families throughout the island. An estimated 10 million people died from cancer in 2020, according to the World Health Organization's International Agency for Research on Cancer. Of these, 70% occurred in low and middle income countries such as St. Lucia, where cancer remains a leading cause of death among women and men. Health officials here have launched a campaign encouraging citizens to make a pledge to conquer cancer.
2020, approximately 1,500 women and 2,170 men were diagnosed with various types of cancers in St. Lucia. In men, cancers of the prostate, and in women, cancers of the breast, cervix, endometrium, and ovary were the leading causes. In addition, cancers of the colon, lung, and stomach continue to affect the St. Lucian population. In an address to mark World Cancer Day, Health Minister Honorable Moses Jabatis underscored that while it may be possible to determine the cause of cancer for everyone who may develop it, centuries of research point to some common risk factors, some preventable and others non-preventable.
These preventable risk factors include habits such as inadequate physical activity, tobacco use, intake of alcohol above recommended limits, unhealthy diets, some high in saturated fats, added sugars, and processed meats, inadequate sleep, high levels of stress, and unsafe sexual practices. Additionally, neglecting early detection through recommended cancer screening and not taking recommended vaccines that prevent certain cancers can also increase cancer risk. The 2020 Behavioral Risk Factor Survey results for a representative sample of St. Lucians aged 18 to 69 years highlight the presence of these preventable risk factors within our population. The percentage of respondents who were current tobacco smokers was 8.5%. Those who engaged in heavy drinking was 19.1%. Current alcohol drinkers, 61.9%. Consumption of less than 5 servings of fruit and of vegetables a day, 83.2%. And those overweight or obese, 65%. The percentage of women who had never had a breast exam was 19.3%.
Health officials want St. Lucians to work together to improve national ability to fight cancer. Awareness and early detection can make a difference.
The Ministry of Health will heighten the social media campaigns, health education campaigns, health education training, screenings, and call to action initiatives on cancer as part of the observance. Links will continue to be strengthened with private sector organizations, NGOs, and others to engender a culture of cancer advocacy and general health-seeking behaviors among St. Lucians.
In observance of World Cancer Day 2024, the Ministry of Health has adopted the national theme, St. Lucia Moves to Conquer Cancer. According to the Health Minister, the focus is to encourage people to take actionable steps to reduce their risk of cancers, to access available cancer screening and treatment service, and to provide assistance to cancer support agencies.
In an effort to aid in closing the care gap throughout the month of February, the citizenry will be encouraged via the Pledge 5 Challenge to adopt or improve 5 healthy habits, uplift 5 people, donate at least $5 to a local cancer support agency, walk for at least 5 kilometers anywhere on the island, then upload the walk to social media and tag 5 friends to do the challenge.
The Ministry of Health intends to continue to bring greater visibility to the reality of living with cancer and encourage open dialogue between the public and healthcare providers. To mark World Cancer Day on Sunday, 4 February, the St. Lucia Cancer Society will stage a Relay for Life initiative at the VG Field. Citizens are encouraged to support this activity. From the Gvd News Desk, I am Tammy Frederick reporting.
Ministry of Health, Fisheries, Food Security and Rural Development officials alerted farmers and the public about a recently identified disease affecting yams. This disease is known as yam rust and is caused by a fungal pathogen. The Ministry of Agriculture has issued a statement on the disease saying it recognizes the critical significance of yams as a staple tuber in our diet and its substantial contribution to farmers as a year-round cash crop supporting their livelihoods. We get the details in this report.
Yam rust is threatening St. Lucia's agricultural sector. The plant disease has been identified in various agricultural regions across the island. Rigorous laboratory testing has confirmed the existence of this disease. Affected yam varieties include white, yellow, and Portuguese yams. Agriculture officials say it is imperative for farmers to consistently monitor their crops for any signs of infection. early detection is crucial and prompt corrective action is necessary to curtail the further spread of the disease. The Ministry of Agriculture is actively collaborating with the farming community and the Agriculture Extension Division to implement effective control measures against humerus. Farmers are strongly advised against moving planting materials from one location to another, as this practice significantly contributes to the transmission of the disease between farms. Travelers likewise are encouraged to avoid the illegal importation of yams and other planting material without the requisite permission or guidance. In the coming weeks, the Ministry of Agriculture Crop Protection Unit will continue working with the Agricultural Extension Unit to provide guidance and avoidance to farmers on essential prevention and control measures. Furthermore, the Research Department will initiate a survey starting Monday, January 29, 2024 to assess the prevalence and extent of this disease across the entire island. The survey will provide the opportunity to understand the disease cycle within our ecosystem in order to provide disease management guidance to farmers. From the Gvd News Desk, I am Tammy Frederick reporting.
Plans for the ICC T20 World Cup St. Lucia matches were unveiled this past week with a promise that the island is ready to welcome cricketing fans. Instead, the Ministry of Youth Development and Sports held a St. Lucia launch for the T20 World Cup on Wednesday. In addition to the island, 6 other Caribbean countries will host the matches. They are Antigua and Barbuda, Barbados, Dominica, Ghana, Trinidad and Tobago, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
T20 is one of the exciting formats of cricket, drawing attention from all ages. St. Lucia has been chosen as one of the venues for the ICC Tournament 2024, which will kick off at the Darren Sammy Cricket Ground in Bossejour in June 2024. President of the St. Lucia National Cricket Association, Wayne Ogie, says stakeholders are excited about the upcoming event. He said St. Lucia is committed to ensuring the scheduled games are successfully hosted here.
We have just embarked on our strategic plan to roll out what we consider to be the pillar and the most important aspect of our cricket, our grassroots program. And as you know, with grassroots, as you know, with T20 cricket, it is the most exciting aspect of the game for the youngsters. It is where we draw in the young ladies, we draw in the young men, and so on and so forth. So I'm looking down in June, and I'm seeing stands filled with 10, 8, 9-year-olds excited to see the heroes, the West Indian players, the Australians, the Indians, the English, whoever, all the teams that will be here, right?
Upgrades are ongoing at the Darren Sammy Cricket Grounds in preparation for the upcoming matches. Roofing works and lighting repairs are all expected to be completed before the World Cup bowls off.
And as a government, through the national lotteries, we launched a high-performance center for the development of cricket. And for those of you who do not know, the high-performance center really has zoomed in on the mental aspect of developing cricket, the physical aspect of developing cricket, the social aspect of developing our young cricketers. And so we are very proud of our track record thus far. This government have invested through the national lotteries over $1 million in sporting equipment.
Minister for Youth Development and Sports, Kenson Casimir, says government has allocated significant resources to the hosting of the event in recognition that cricket has the power to reconstruct communities. St. Lucia will play host to 6 games in the opening round of the ICC Cricket World Cup. In addition to the excitement, the tournament will create employment opportunities for skilled workers. From the Gvd News Desk, I am Makiba Eiffel reporting.
Stay with the live broadcast of the Gvd News Week in Review. More after this. You're watching the live broadcast of the GVD Week in Review. We are live on Flow Channel 115, YouTube and Facebook. Education Ministry officials hosted the 16th Annual National Awards of Excellence at the Sandals Grand Hotel on February the 1st. The event honored and celebrated outstanding achievers in education and sports. St. Lucia will be represented by 4 athletes in the
Why pay full price for your mobile when you can pay half? Just bundle your home internet and mobile services with Flow and save 50% on your mobile bill. That's money in your pockets every month. Plus now you get free YouTube and WhatsApp data. And you can share your plan with up to 3 other numbers. Upgrade now and get a free smartphone. Switch and keep your number. Learn more at discoverflow.co.
So, this is goodbye. A professional one. A meticulous one. One with unique options. And total support. With multiple locations, we are focused on your hour of need. And so, this is the final goodbye. Be it traditional, at sea, or cremation, the Crick family will be here to help your family during life's most difficult moments. Crick's Funeral Home, telephone 452-2780 and 459-9212.
Coming soon, the same excellent Lucelec service in a new location at Daisy Avenue in Sanssouci, Castries. Thanks for your patience.
Ice candy, deliciously healthy.
Thank you for staying with us. Let's revisit that earlier report. The 16th Annual National Awards of Excellence was held on February the 1st, hosted by the Ministry of Education. The awards honored outstanding achievers in the areas of education and sports.
This year's national awardees were celebrated under the theme Celebrating Excellence, Inspiring Our Collective Imagination, Fostering National Pride. Awards were presented in various categories honoring achievement in academics and sports. Education Minister Honorable Sean Edward used the occasion to inspire recipients and future prospects. This year's national awardees were celebrated under the theme Celebrating Excellence, Inspiring Our Collective Imagination, Fostering National Pride. Awards were presented in various categories honoring achievement in academics and sports. Education Minister Honorable Sean Edward used the occasion to inspire recipients and future prospects.
St. Lucia will be represented by 4 athletes in 2024. The World Athletics Championships will be held in Doha, Qatar. The competition includes preliminary heats, semi-finals and finals, and will take place from February the 11th to February the 18th. This is the first time that the World Athletics Championships will be held in the Middle East. The athletes are Nikisha Louis, Tristan Norville, McKinley Shalmine, and J.M. Odland Smith. They will compete in various events during the championships. The team will be supervised by head coach Abby Pulte, and Mr. Eddie Hazel will manage the team. They are expected to leave for Doha on February the 7th. St. Lucians this week got news that the islands were forcing closer partnership with Ghana in the area of agriculture following a recent visit to the South American country. St. Lucia's Minister for Agriculture, Alfred Prosper, announced plans to sign a memorandum of understanding, an MOU, with Ghana to promote cooperation in agriculture diversification. Minister Prosper said St. Lucia can learn a lot from the Ghana model. The government of St. Lucia National Anti-Money Laundering Oversight Committee, NAMPLO, had much to celebrate this week following St. Lucia's successful application for re-rating of the Financial Action Task Force's recommendations for prevention of money laundering and terrorism financing. The country was subject to enhanced follow-up process due to some significant inadequacies in relation to the FATF, that is 40 recommendations. More in this report.
So we have done exceedingly well. It's a lot of work and the committee has to be commended.
Members of the National Anti-Money Laundering Oversight Committee, NAMLOC, and stakeholders came in for high praise following St. Lucia's successful application for re-rating of the Financial Action Task Force FATF recommendations. During the country's fourth round mutual evaluation process, St. Lucia was rated partially compliant and non-compliant for some of these recommendations. Juliana Alfred is a permanent secretary in the Attorney General's Chambers and the chair of NAMLOC.
I'm very happy to report that in December of 2023, St. Lucia applied for re-rating for 22 recommendations. I think we would have hinted at that sometime before we went. And fortunately for us, which is an extraordinary feat in itself, St. Lucia was re-rated for 20 out of these 22 recommendations.
15 recommendations were rated compliant. 5 were rated largely compliant and 2 remained partially compliant. The 2 partially compliant recommendations are Recommendation 15, which deals with new technologies, and Recommendation 38, which deals with mutual legal assistance.
But overall, I think NAMLOC is very happy with the progress we've made. It was quite a bit of pressure. I think people would have remembered the legislation that we would have had to amend and to pass, whether it be the Anti-Terrorism or Companies Act or money laundering legislation. And we also introduced virtual assets. So it was quite a lot. And of course, we did the National Risk Assessment, which gave us a nice overview of St. Lucia's risk profile.
NAMLOC remains vigilant in monitoring the efforts of agencies to address the outstanding deficiencies as the country prepares for the 5th round mutual evaluation report.
St. Lucia will be assessed for effectiveness moving forward. Yes, we have passed all of this legislation, but CFATF will now be looking at how effective we are in terms of the implementation of the legislation. Did we just pass the legislation, or are we actually utilizing the legislation? So the work does not stop. Until and unless you haven't addressed all of your deficiencies, you will remain on that enhanced follow-up. So it is our responsibility to ensure that we continue to be as focused in relation to the 6 remaining that we have to deal with before we get into the 5th round.
The NAMLOC chair disclosed that while St. Lucia works to address the deficiencies in the 4th round mutual evaluation report, the committee is simultaneously preparing for the 5th round, where the Caribbean Financial Action Task Force will be assessing St. Lucia's compliance with the 40 recommendations. For the National Competitiveness and Productivity Council, Glenn Simon reporting.
St. Lucia music continued to make headway in Trinidad and Tobago this past week. TNT, the Mecca of carnivals, on Wednesday night, two young and upcoming St. Lucian artists joined the award-winning Teddyson John on stage at his annual strip concert. Despite some hurdles, the event was a showcase of pure excellence.
St. Lucia's Teddyson John brought magic to Trinidad and Tobago Wednesday night at his annual strip concert. The event featured some big names in soca, including Destra, Kes, and Skinny Fabulous. It was staged at the NAPA for the second year. Speaking via social media following the event, Teddyson John said, despite some hiccups, he's thankful for the overwhelming support.
I am so grateful. I woke up feeling so overwhelmed by the love, the calls, the messages of encouragement, the positive vibe and the positive energy, just from everybody that came out last night, to the Teddyson John experience, stripped carnival magic. A couple of hiccups. As the producer of the show, we still learning. I'm still learning. You understand, and of course, you have stuff that is beyond your control also. So just want to apologize on behalf of every single act that wasn't able to make it. Because of scheduling, sometimes it can get real hectic.
The strip concert presented a blend of soca, calypso, and contemporary hits performed in acoustic style. Teddyson John explained that his team hopes to learn from the experience of this year.
We have Shemi, we had KO introducing them also. Thank you for being there and showing up for me on stage and off stage. You understand? Thank you for this. I want to say special thanks to Abeo. Thank you, my creative director. A lot of this wouldn't be possible. I want to thank you so much, for bringing this dream to light and this concept to light. The entire band, everybody who decided to, come out and took a chance on us, took a chance on us. We really appreciate you. We thank you. I am so humbled.
Strip 2024 was held within the theme Carnival Magic. Teddyson John is scheduled to perform at a number of major events in Trinidad during the ongoing carnival. From the Gvd News Desk, I am Makiba Eiffel reporting.
The National Archives Authority made an urgent plea for support to help preserve the island's history. Currently housed at VG in Castries, the headquarters of the National Archives is falling apart.
The National Archives Authority of St. Lucia exists to protect, preserve, and provide access to public and private records and archives of national significance, to engage in educational and outreach activities, to promote the use of these records, and to advise government ministries or departments in records management. However, with such an important role, the authority has struggled due to a lack of support. Mr. Patrick Freeman, representative at the National Archive Authority, spoke to Gvd News about the major challenges they are facing at the VG headquarters. He says the current structure is not conducive and requires urgent government intervention.
We have challenges at the National Archives where our roof is compromised and water is leaking through. And water and high relative humidity give rise to the growth of mold.
Mr. Freeman explained that very little has been done to support the National Archives. He says the authority requires help to digitize their records to prevent destruction.
So we need government to come in and to help us develop a conservation lab, take care of any infrastructural problems we may have in order to provide a better and proper conservation of our historical past.
Freeman is optimistic his plea will not fall on deaf ears. From the Gvd News Desk, I am Tammy Frederick reporting.
Thanks, Tammy. And finally from us this hour, the 2024 Sir Derek Walcott Memorial Lecture was held on Tuesday, January 30th.
This year, Sir Arthur Lewis Memorial Lecture was presented by noted environmentalist and former Minister for Sustainable Development, Dr. James Fletcher. Dr. Fletcher spoke on the topic, Navigating the Future. He outlined some of the main policy recommendations of Sir Arthur Lewis as an accomplished economist.
As told by Norman Govan in his paper, Lewis for the 21st Century, at the time of receiving his Nobel Prize, Sir Arthur acknowledged publication of 10 books and about 80 other pieces. The late Dr. Pat Emanuel produced a 3-volume set of the writings of Sir Arthur, which includes 90 items that cover a wide variety of subjects. The good thing about preparing for a lecture on Sir Arthur Lewis is there is a tremendous amount of literature by and on Sir Arthur.
According to Dr. Fletcher, the current environment dictates the need to refocus and retool the education system. He says the next generation must be taught how to deal with change, learn new concepts, and preserve mental balance in unfamiliar situations.
Really what our education system is trying to determine is how well you can do it. Now, this is not the world we're living in. The world we're living in is one where people are sharing, collaborating, working with each other. Is our education system adapting to that? Agility and adaptability, initiative and entrepreneurialism. How I got through that word is amazing. Effective oral and written communication, accessing and analyzing information, and importantly, curiosity and imagination. Our education system must nurture our curiosity. There is something unique about us in the Caribbean. We do not like to encourage curiosity among our young.
The annual lecture was held this year at the Finance Administrative Center, Point Seraphine. It is part of Independence celebrations. From the GVD News Desk, I am Makiba Eiffel reporting.
Thanks, Makiba. And with that, we've come to the end of the GVD News Week in Review, a recap of some of the biggest headlines making news this past week for the period ending February 2nd. On behalf of the entire team, thanks so much for joining us. My name is Shannon LeBon. You have yourself a safe and enjoyable weekend.
So, this is goodbye. A professional one. A meticulous one. One with unique options. And total support. With multiple locations, we are focused on your hour of need. And so, this is the final goodbye. Be it traditional, at sea, or cremation, the Crick family will be here to help your family during life's most difficult moments. Crick's Funeral Home, telephone 452-2780 and 459-9212.
Coming soon, the same excellent Lucelec service in a new location at Daisy Avenue in Sanssouci, Castries. Thanks for your patience.
Why pay full price for your mobile when you can pay half? Just bundle your home internet and mobile services with Flow and save 50% on your mobile bill. That's money in your pockets every month. Plus now you get free YouTube and WhatsApp data. And you can share your plan with up to 3 other numbers. Upgrade now and get a free smartphone. Switch and keep your number. Learn more at discoverflow.co.
Ice candy, deliciously healthy.
Ernesto's Auto Parts, located on the Labrie-Vifford Highway, is your place for auto parts. We have suspension parts, mounts, brakes, shocks, and so much more.
We specialize in accessories like mats, batteries, horns, lubricants, and much more.
We're open from Mondays to Saturdays from 8 to 5 and Sundays on most holidays from 8 to 1.
L'opri, Ernesto vai depois.
Real estate transactions are now made easy. Whether buying, selling, or renting residential, commercial, industrial, agricultural, or touristic property, we offer the best deals in real estate transactions with professional support, including valuation, material sourcing, and construction. Contact Ed Harris and Associates, your courteous and efficient real estate agents. Call 485-1456 or email carrotbiz@gmail.com.